Hello, and welcome to Goats and Gamebots, the unlicensed and completely uncalled for Survivor podcast. I'm Jack Pickard, Survivor superfan and rightful heir to the Probst Tribal Council stump. I'm also joined by my co-host, lanky-ass third-string quarterback, Zach Madsen.
Hi.
And Jersey girl, Andrew Terzigny.
I'll take that.
As always, this podcast is about two Gamebots, Zach and myself, dragging our friend Andrew along our 40-season binge of Survivor. Today we'll be discussing Season 11, Guatemala, so if you don't want that spoiled...
Come on in, guys! Keep it.
I'm assuming that was the wrong one.
That was totally... It's been a while.
You did the right one and the air horn. It was, come on in, guys.
Yeah.
And then I did the air horn.
Isn't come on in, guys also the wrong one?
Yeah.
Didn't you want... Got nothing for you?
Yeah, no, I hit the wrong one. Okay, so if you don't want that spoiled...
Got nothing for you. Grab your stuff, head back to camp.
There we go.
Those of you sadly still with us, let's get it on. 40 seasons, 3 goofballs, 1 pointless podcast. Welcome back. It's been quite a while before we recorded an episode of these.
It's been a while.
And we're off to a hot start already.
Yeah. Clearly I don't remember where any of my buttons are. But a lot has happened since our last episode. Since Palau, we have actually completely moved.
We live in a new home.
Yeah, this is a new location.
Mm-hmm. Same city, different neighborhood.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a throwback because we're doing it in my room just like the old Africa episodes.
Except
I think we did the Outback there too.
I am not in my bed this time.
Yeah, no, this time he's sitting
chair.
upright. And we have much better equipment. Still only 2 headphones. But we're getting there. And we do have a separate part of this house that will become the podcast studio. It's
Hopefully.
just, it's not ready yet.
Need more foam.
Yeah, more foam, more, like, we got the vibey lights first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like, oh, this sounds like shit. So maybe it requires more than vibey lights.
Get out of here. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you're
One
right.
thing at a time. But yeah, as y'all know, we are independent podcast, so we fund this ourselves, and moving is expensive.
Yeah.
So we're taking our time putting this studio together.
Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah.
And again, can't stress this enough. Like 2 listeners per episode.
Yeah.
So, nobody's super disappointed.
I
if
mean,
we're not
last
keeping up the
episode
weekly,
has 4 downloads. I don't know if that was just one person listening 4 times or 4 different people, but either way.
Could be.
I hope it was one person who downloaded it once, went, wow, that was really good. And then downloaded it 3 more times.
Yeah, whoever you are out there, thanks for doing that, getting our numbers up.
Also, well, to clarify, a download is just a play.
It's just a play.
Via one of the, sorry. I know, it was confusing to me, too, when I first saw the stats here on buzzsprouts.com. Mm-hmm. Goats and Gamebots brought to you by buzzsprouts.com,
Buzzsprouts.
Literally.
Whoever our listeners are, feel free to slide into our DMs. We'd love to get to know you.
Yeah. We can afford to have a super personal fan base because the 3 people that listen to us, we want to know you on a first name basis. We'll shout you out.
Mm-hmm. Send in fan art too, so we can throw that on the walls in the studio.
Yeah,
yes,
of course. But for the time being, just in my tiny ass bedroom that works as a nice little studio.
Which I've never spent a lot of time in since we moved. It's nice in here, bud.
It is. It's still very messy.
Yeah.
It will.
I generally try
all
not
our
to
rooms
spend much time in anybody's room but mine.
That's true. I don't.
It's a shame.
I don't spend a lot of time in anybody else's room.
It's a damn shame.
I know.
We could spend a lot of time in your room, though, Zach.
Yes, look at that big room,
Shit's
big
huge.
party room.
Yeah. Lots of room for activities.
Yeah. Check out our Twitter for the visual tour of our new apartment.
We're just, hey, welcome. Check it out. Look at our in-unit washer and dryer. It's great.
I gotta say, I've never had so many clean clothes in my life.
Yeah.
I love it.
Really, we were paying like $2 in quarters every time we went to do
$2 to wash,
so.
$2 to dry. It was a rip-off.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back to, you may not know this, but this is about Survivor, this podcast.
What is Survivor?
But yeah, it's probably time we start talking about Survivor. And of course, one of the first things we always want to talk about, we want to get to Andrew's Tribal Council review. Andrew, how was the Tribal Council this season for Guatemala?
Very cool, but you guys, since we started this whole shindig, we're like, wait until we get to Guatemala.
Yeah.
Wait until we get to Guatemala.
Yeah.
We got here underwhelmed, but I think it's just because you guys hyped it up
too much.
We Donnie
so
Darko'd it
much.
for him. We Donnie Darko'd it. To explain that, I had Donnie Darko really overhyped for me, and I saw it and was not impressed.
Also, how
Real
I feel
Donnie
about
Darko.
Fight Club.
Real Fight Club situation here.
Yeah, I think everybody has that. But yeah, Donnie Darko.
Still, like top 3 tribal council of all time because
It is a great tribal council.
Yavin 4.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't understand why you don't.
This is where they filmed Yavin 4. Like,
What's that?
Yavin 4 is the planet from the end of A New Hope. The one that the Death Star is trying to blow up,
Yep.
and then the rebels stop.
I can see that.
5 minutes, by the way. In this episode, it took us 5 minutes to get back around to Star Wars.
This one was... They
Only
were
5?
literally at my favorite Star Wars planet. I don't know what to tell you.
That's cool, though, man. Let's see two worlds colliding.
It's also, fun fact, why Oscar Isaac's character, Poe Dameron, is from Yavin 4, because he's from Guatemala, and they filmed Yavin 4 in Guatemala.
Shout out Guatemala.
Yeah.
I'll try not to talk about it anymore. That one is just...
I mean, the other reason it's cool is because it's a legit temple where the Maya sacrificed people. I don't want to glaze over that point.
Yeah, but Star Wars.
It's very cool. And the voting confessional is like, climb up this pyramid and write...
The voting confessional is very cool.
In the background, you see all the other...
other
it's
temples,
so
yeah.
cool.
It's
I don't
top
know
three.
how it's not your number one.
Because do you remember the Outback?
Of course.
Waterfall.
We've never stopped talking about it.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is like, this is not only a very visually cool tribal council, but it's also
got history.
historic. Yeah. I don't know how y'all don't.
It's the Maya Empire,
Yeah.
dude.
Come on.
I love it. It's still
Come on, dude. It's
at
the Maya
least
Empire. Come on.
3. It probably beat Thailand.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest
Okay.
with you. It's probably 2. There's a whole chamber of my heart that is...
You know what?
You know,
I think you think you're better than me.
When we-
Because-
You better than me?
You think you're better than me, because come on. It's
when we
Guatemala. It's the
finish
Maya Empire.
these 40 seasons and we go back and we start from the beginning and do it all over again, we just add a new cast member as the goat. I think you will be underwhelmed by... I think you are Donnie Darkoing the own Outback Tribal Council. I think you're overhyping it.
Whoa.
What
This is a very meta bit right here.
I know.
What the audience can't see, because this is an audio medium, I'm shaking my head violently.
Can confirm he was
Yeah.
saying that, yes.
But yeah, but I
Well,
think
good for you.
the location itself is a big plus for this season, in my opinion. Especially like right off the bat, it's like also completely brutal season. They're like, welcome to Survivor, hike 11 miles through the wilderness. In
Hike
a race.
11 miles. We're going to kill Bobby John.
If we don't get out of this without Bobby John like passing out, it's not worth it. So that's how you know it's like extremely difficult. And then the winning tribe gets to live among the Mayan pyramids.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Or is it pyramid? What is that structure? Is it a pyramid?
Temples,
Would you call
pyramids.
that
I would
It's a
call it a
temple.
pyramid.
Is it not a temple?
It's pyramid.
Number crunch what the definition of a pyramid is.
Yeah, it's
Hold on, we're talking about the area where the tribal
Yeah,
council was?
I would
Those
lean-
are
I would
for sure
lean
temples.
temple.
No, those are for sure temples. I'm not even going to look it up.
I feel like other people would. I feel like they could be classified
Could they
as
be
pyramids.
All right.
Well, I mean, look up Machu Picchu because that is the same thing that we're talking about, right? And I think that may be considered. I could just be talking out my ass. It says actually these are not temples; these are set decoration from
Survivor.
Island of Lost Dreams, Survivor, Indiana Jones the Bad One.
Crystal Skull.
Okay.
Yeah, they go to one of those,
This
right?
is,
Oh, yeah, they do.
This is what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this article is called "The 10 Most Beautiful Ancient Mayan Temples."
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
So it's
Okay,
definitely
so,
temples.
I mean-
Do you want me to look up Machu Picchu still? Though?
I just wanted to know
Machu Picchu.
what you call them aside from temples, if there's a name for it, like pyramids or something.
I still feel
I
like
feel
they
like
could
there's
be
gotta be
classified as
something.
pyramids. Don't get me wrong, they're temples first and foremost.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could be
What?
doing
Yeah,
like
I guess
pyramids.
pyramid is just it has to be like a general triangle shape.
Mm-hmm. It's like a plateau pyramid.
Yeah.
The number one most
not
beautiful
bad.
temple is titled, what is it called? It's the Chichen Itza. You guys want to see it? It's cute.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, I think I've seen this one.
Oh yeah, that classic.
Classic. Classic.
Yeah, I think that might be the one from Spy Kids. Not to always bring it back around to Spy Kids too, but I mean,
We've done enough watches of Spy Kids 2 to definitely be sure which temple was which. So if anyone was curious,
Yeah.
that was the temple. Go look it up. Chichen Itza.
before we jump into the meat of this episode, real quick, last episode we debuted the fire tokens. I know it's been a while since we talked about them.
No, I'm familiar.
But I would like to. I added a few more things to the menu, and later on we're going to have a fire token challenge. So again, we'll be able to win. As it currently stands, I have 9 fire tokens. Zach has 11. Andrew has 10. A couple of things that I added to the fire token menu. Again, 1 fire token, get a compliment. For 3 fire tokens now, you can have your own ad read. So when we come back from commercial break, and we're coming up with random shit, if you want to do an ad read for anything that you want, 3 fire tokens. It's all you. You can even hype yourself up if you want. If
it can be an ad about myself.
Yeah, if the intro is a little bit too rich for your blood, then go ahead and just buy yourself an ad read and give yourself one of those. Not to give you too many ideas. Again, you can write your own intro for 5 fire tokens.
Only 5?
Yeah, for 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get to do your own intro.
I don't know why I thought that was more expensive.
No, it's pretty cheap, all things considered.
Cool.
We got a lot of episodes to put out, so we got to make it affordable. For 6 and 7, we added 2 new ones. For 7, we're going to, let's start with 6. For 6, we're going to watch and do an episode about any movie. So instead of a season, it's going to be less if you just want to do one movie, like Space Jam or something like that. I don't know. Spy Kids 2.
I'm actually going to pick Spy Kids 4D all the time in the world.
Okay, yeah. Well, you might want to hold off because I have something for that later.
Oh, there's this exclusive Spy Kids 4D?
It's not, but it is related somehow. And for 7 fire tokens, you get to call your loved one on air.
It's our version of loved one visits.
Yeah, we'll call a loved one if you want. I don't see anybody doing that, but I think it's fun to have it on the menu. Okay. I'm going to put a tarp on here too, which I don't expect anybody to
I'm definitely going to purchase the tarp.
Again, for 10 fire tokens, you can go ahead and host an episode. For 12 fire tokens, we will watch and do an episode about a trilogy. This is where Spy Kids comes in. So if you want to do, one of the Star Wars trilogies, Lord of the Rings.
Why would I do Star Wars?
And I'll even do a 3 for 4. So if it is Spy Kids, we'll throw in a 4D for you. If it's, Indiana Jones, we'll throw in the Crystal Skull one. All that fun stuff. So
I had a garbage movie trilogy and then I forgot.
Can I buy?
Are you going to buy something right now?
2 tarps.
2 tarps.
One for me and one for Andrew.
Can I also buy 2 tarps? One for me, one for Zach.
Now we both
so
have 2
everybody
tarps.
I'm going to go broke from it.
We just run you out of business.
Yeah, we have a podcast studio to buy, and I'm spending money on tarps.
You put tarps on the menu.
Honestly, we could just have a tarp studio. That might soak up some of the sound a little bit.
That would sound interesting, I'm sure.
Welcome back to the most authentic Survivor podcast. We're, build our own shelter.
We film this shit in the jungle.
Well, anyway, I wanted to add some things for the fire token menu for you guys. So if you ever want to buy anything, just let me know.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'll for sure make you guys watch some movies.
Yeah.
I will say we are in a financial crisis right now, so I'm going to have to probably hold on to a lot of these.
Yeah, you never know.
Not that I'm not into this whole thing.
But again, inflation, maybe it's better to spend it. So you never know.
Okay.
Anyway.
We'll see.
Also, I
might invest a little bit.
When I bought that compliment, definitely worth it.
Yeah, loved it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got
still riding the ego high.
All right.
I'm a genuine friend. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, we're going to take a real quick ad break. And when we come back, we're going to actually start talking about this season of Survivor Guatemala, with the Outwit section. This season of Survivor brought to you by Cursed Chickens. If a bunch of random Mayan people stroll up in your home, kill a chicken. Don't you eat it. It's probably cursed. And welcome back to the show.
Don't eat that chicken. Yeah, I definitely forgot about that cursed
when you said
chicken.
That, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And then I remember they were like, hey, don't fucking eat this chicken.
That's a highlight of the season, in my opinion.
And Stephanie was like, I'm going to eat this chicken.
I can't stress enough to the listeners how strange this season, this episode is in the way that we watched Guatemala. I already have a bad memory when it comes to watching this shit, but with the moving and the everything else.
The world situation. The world being on fire.
Yeah, just all that stuff.
The world's on fire.
Yeah.
How about
I watched
That's the way I like it.
I watched
never get old.
Sorry. Go ahead, Zach.
I didn't even know you guys were doing a bit. I'm sorry. I didn't hear it.
It was a subtle one.
I was just gonna say I watched the first couple episodes in Minnesota. Then some came back to Chicago with you guys at one apartment, and then Chicago here in another apartment.
Yeah, didn't we finish it in our new apartment?
3 different homes.
Yeah.
Wow. For me.
And we also have a lot of distance from the season. Like, we've already have taken out a good chunk of Panama, so that's fresh on the brain as opposed to Guatemala. Yeah. So it is a little bit tricky of a situation.
One thing I will say about that chicken, though, now that you've sparked my memory, the second they brought that chicken into camp, I knew Stephanie was eating it.
Yeah.
There was never a doubt in my mind that chicken was going to go uneaten.
Jersey thing.
And they were like, don't eat this chicken. It's an offering to, don't eat this chicken. And she's like, oh, okay, we won't. They left. We gonna eat this chicken now.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Well, Stephanie is such like a food-motivated person, especially this season. Like, everything, a lot of drama was around how much she
A lot of
eaten.
it boiled down to like, I had a meal. Okay, yeah, so did everyone else.
Like, there was a lot of personal drama involving that. And yeah, it's one more meal for Stephanie's perspective. So I do think this is an interesting season in terms of how you can be edited one season versus the next season. Like, you're the same person, right?
Especially when they're
Stephanie-
back-to-back seasons like that.
Yeah, like Stephanie is the same exact person, but I think this is the first time where it's like, oh, the edit is radically different from season to season, especially, again, back to back. Because I guarantee you that was also an aspect of Stephanie way back on Palau. It's just not what they chose to focus on because her whole tribe was getting decimated.
She said it herself in the reunion. She was like, I've always been this version of Stephanie.
Yeah.
You just didn't see that side of me.
Jersey girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you expect?
What'd you expect?
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Michelle 1.0.
So 4.0.
5.0? What's the...
5.0, whatever it is.
I have a hard time tracking the Parvati bit, but it's that.
Poverty bit's not supposed to make sense. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be confused.
That's, yeah.
Like how you feel when you look at poverty. I don't know. I haven't gotten there.
Poverty.
We're right around the corner.
I was gonna
from
say,
our first
2 more?
Parvati appearance. Yeah, she's in Cook Islands. Race Wars.
Race Wars.
Yeah, we're leading up. That'll be a fun ep. Yeah, even Panama will be a fun ep. I think we're in a really good era of Survivor.
Which race does she represent?
Parvati.
Yeah. What if it was not what you thought it was?
Yeah, it could be anything, really. But yeah. So jumping into the outwit section. I mean, the first thing I wanted to talk about was the cursed chicken. We kind of did. But what do you think? Rafe did not eat the chicken.
And he still suffered. He should have eaten the chicken.
Oh, yeah. So if you're going to be cursed anyway, might as well.
If 3 of the 4 of you are eating it,
Yeah.
eat the chicken. Like, I mean,
If you're the man
I
on
understand
the
why he
outs.
didn't. It was a very powerful experience.
Well,
They
that's
told
the
him
thing.
not to. But, like, everyone else is doing it. If they're going to get cursed, then that storm came through and you still suffered that storm. And
mean,
you got nothing for it.
It's interesting to think about. I think it has to do with, like, I'm a superstitious person. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can honestly say I would eat the chicken. I would probably be, I mean, granted, you're out there and you're starving, right? But Survivor itself is such, like, an experience. And the more you get swept up in that experience, I think the more you're likely to do irrational shit in terms of, I'm starving, but I'm not going to eat this chicken because the Mayan people told me not to, you know?
If he had gone on to win, I would have been like, wow, he didn't eat that chicken. And he won this game.
Well,
But he didn't even win, so should have eaten the chicken.
granted, I think that's on Rafe too, because Rafe played the martyr the whole game. I love Rafe, don't get me wrong. Rafe's one of my
especially all the way to
favorite
the
characters this season. But especially at the end, like, you had a final 2 deal with Danny, and then you kind of backed out of it to kind of guilt her into it. Like, no, you got something solid. Hold her to that. If she breaks it, that's on her. She doesn't get your vote, right? Like,
And then you bring that up in the jury of, like, we had this agreement.
Yeah.
You broke it for no reason.
But,
Yeah,
yeah. That was a big part of this
Rafe
season,
goofed
though.
at the end of the game.
But even with the car thing, like when Cindy
yeah.
won a car, and it's like, do you want the car, or do you want to get a whole fucking fleet of Pontiac Storms to, like, the rest of the people on the cast? And she was like, I would like the car, which nobody can really fault you for.
Yeah, shout out Cindy for keeping that car.
Yeah, get the car.
I hate it when Survivor Productions like, like, we're gonna give you something, and they do it with loved ones challenges too, where they're like,
Yeah.
you won love, but everybody else will get love if you don't.
Especially
It's
in
like-
this era, they're very much like, huh?
Yeah. It's playing around with the morality of it. Now
Right.
they're just like, it's a game. Like, you can do anything and be like, it's a game, I don't give a shit. But at this point especially, it's like, I would have given away
Yeah.
the car.
It's just to stir the pot, which they,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a grasping for straws strategy, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I like, this season really brings 2 questions, 2 very moral questions. Would you take the car?
Yeah.
And would you eat the chicken?
Yeah, truly. And I think you could tell a lot about somebody based off how they answer those 2 questions. So
We don't
Andrew,
have to answer them.
Well, I want to know. I want to know who my podcast co-hosts are, and I think this is the best way to find out. So,
We already know Andrew's answers. He's ready to
yeah,
go. Just say
Andrew,
it.
would you keep the car?
Yes.
Would you eat the chicken?
Yes.
Okay. No surprises there. We're
No
taking away
hesitation.
fire tokens for 2 immoral answers.
I
No.
get a car.
Yeah.
Awesome. I won it fair and square.
Yeah.
I don't owe anything to these people.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm not going to win the game. I'm not going to win the game.
And you don't owe anything to the Mayan people for them opening up their home to you?
I owe them for Oscar Isaac. So
I don't know.
maybe I wouldn't eat the chicken.
What? Goodness gracious. Did
you hit that on accident?
Yeah, it was an accident. It's sitting on my lap because I don't have enough space.
The I don't know sound bite.
Yeah. What a terrible... This is...
All right, ask me the questions.
Yeah. Zach, would you keep the car?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Would you eat the chicken?
I don't know.
No, I'm not going to do it. I already did it twice.
I would not eat the chicken, though. But I would have taken the Rafe approach, I think. Yeah. I think part of me would have been like, yeah, this is bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm with you. I for sure, like, the car is different. You won the car.
Yes.
Keep the car.
Mm-hmm.
I agree that Cindy was in the right there.
Yeah.
But I also am kind of Team Rafe in terms of I don't know if I'd eat the chicken.
I'm not disrespecting an entire culture on national television.
I do.
It seems very rude.
That too.
I do understand and I think maybe in the moment, maybe I wouldn't, but I know who I am.
Yeah.
I think if I was starving out there,
That's
there
true.
was this perfectly good cooked chicken that has just been sitting there for a little while, I think I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah. It's fair. I understand it. Again, we're not in the mindset of people who are starving. Or again, it's a brutal season of Survivor. Like, get food where you can take it, you know? So, I get it, but yeah. The other thing, there was a lot of, like, all of my outwit questions are about giving things up. Like, there was a lot of, I'm going to give up the car. Well, not give up the car. I'm going to, But one of the things that I have is Jamie giving up his feast for others. They did that challenge where it's tiered, and then you win a feast based off how well you perform. And Jamie gets like 4th or something, and then willingly goes to last place so everybody else can eat better.
Because he was an asshat last episode.
To like regain some social capital. How do you feel about that move?
I think it works for him. It's a risky move because, like, if you're too much of an asshole and you do that, it makes no difference.
Yeah, they're going to hate your guts anyway.
But I think he was right at that crucial tipping point of, like, if I don't do something of good faith, they won't like me. At all. So I have to do something.
I think it was a super pandery move because... I mean, it's true what you're saying. It's a double-edged sword because there's really no way to not have it look like a selfish act as well as a selfless act.
Yeah.
But I think he had dug himself in too deep at that point where a lot of people are like, oh, wait.
Yeah. And I think maybe if he maintained the good course that he set out for himself of like, I'm going to give this up and I'm going to really change it around, maybe. Really, in reality, it bought him an episode.
Yeah, he went right back to the asshat he was the episode before.
He gave it up episode 9 and went home episode 10.
Yeah.
And it was because of paranoia. Like, he got too paranoid. And legitimately, this happens sometimes. You can tell people are going crazy out there. And legitimately...
This guy's crazy.
That's true.
Dude, this thing's pretty sweet.
This thing's pretty sick.
God damn it. This is what... I meant to press this. But...
This guy is crazy.
Oh my god. What a rough episode for this soundboard. I cannot get it together.
I love this.
Oh my god.
This is amazing.
Also, and this doesn't have to make the edit, but in that Batman trailer that just came out, there's one point where I think it's the Penguin. He's driving away from Batman, and he just goes, "This guy's crazy." And the first time I watched it, I was like, Survivor.
Yeah, Sister Nino.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're getting to that point where it's just so much in our household culture.
It's just our fucking lexicon.
Yeah, and we just deal with it through Survivor. But yeah, Jamie was legitimately going crazy out there. There's no doubt about that.
Same thing with, what was his name? Matt?
Oh, yeah. The one that they were talking
Jenna's
about.
season?
This guy's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, he's...
He's creepy. He's creepy.
Yeah. And I actually got that one right, so...
There's a first time for everything.
Getting back into the swing of things, slowly but surely. Yeah, and I think... What was my other... outwit question? Oh, it was Rafe giving up the final 2 deal with Danny, because I think that's maybe the worst move of
Foolish.
the game. Yeah. But I also understand it is in Rafe's arsenal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's very much a move that Rafe would make. And again, Rafe is one of my favorite characters this season. I just think towards the end, he kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Gotta work
lose. Survivor's a 400 meter.
Yeah.
Sometimes you lose steam in the last 100.
That's true. Yeah, but I think there's a lot. Like if you replay this season like 100 times, same cast, I think Rafe wins a good amount of them.
He wins.
I think he's usually
He wins
the
against
winner.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
He wins against Danny.
And imagine a Winners at War with Rafe in there.
That would have been cool.
That would have been really interesting.
He wouldn't have gone out second.
Yeah.
Danny.
Third.
I don't remember when you went out,
It was
Danny.
third. But she played herself out. She played herself.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Yeah. But maybe we, instead of boat riding your way out of the game, it would be rafing your way.
Rafing?
Yeah, you never know.
You really rafed
That's
it.
okay. Maybe it's not rafing. 'Cause
Watch out. I'm a rafe ya.
yeah, maybe it's not rafe. That's
Yeah,
way
that's a bad one.
That is tiptoeing
I don't like that
a
one.
bit too much.
Man.
I keep hitting the fucking wires. I'm like,
Yeah, we're a little cramped in here.
oh, it's gonna
This
be
is the
back.
most intimate studio we've had.
It is, which I guess so far has not been paying dividends. But yeah, any other like outwit stuff you can think of, gameplay that was good or maybe bad or like
Just entire social game.
Oh, yikes.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about Judd for sure.
First of
I
all,
just don't
he
get
is a hotel doorman in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Yeah.
They didn't need his lower third. He's so like stereotypical doorman of like,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Bless you.
What did I say?
You only get one.
As I was sneezing, trust me, if I could help it.
But he's so stereotypical. Like, you would see in a romantic comedy set in New York.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be like,
For
he's
sure.
the doorman you see when you walk in. Like, he's
It's like your pal.
so blatantly obvious. You remember the movie Jumper?
Yeah.
Where he's walking out the door in the beginning?
With Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, with Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Star of Star Wars. And he walks out and he's got an umbrella and his doorman goes, I don't think you're going to be needing that. The forecast doesn't say rain.
So that's who Judd is
That's who Judd is.
for this season.
Yeah.
But Judd paid dividends in my opinion because like there was the whole they like gave them beer. There was the scandal of like where did the extra beer go, and he just dug himself in deeper. And it was a trend this season where Judd was in over his head, and then he just dug his heels in and made it so much worse.
Tried to lie his way out by saying, I've never lied.
Yeah,
All you did was lie this season.
Scumbags.
yeah. Well, that was the
I
thing.
hope you get eaten by a crocodile.
Here's what I will say though. I think it is amazing that Judd dodged as many scandals as he did.
Remember that one tribal where he just blew up, which by the way was one of my favorite things to watch in the whole world.
Yeah.
But he just blew up, and I was like, how does he survive this?
And
at
Margaret
all?
went home.
That was one of my least favorite things ever to watch. And yeah, I'm also in shock that he did not go home. I think it was like truly, he was like one of the boys, like, even though
Yeah.
people were annoyed by him, like, I don't know.
They
I think
knew he
people
was
really
loyal.
people got along with him.
Yeah,
For
but
the most part. They were like
again,
homies.
Loyalty for sure
Yeah.
is like his strong suit. Like you know he's going to be a number, and you also know if you make it to the end with Judd, you have a good chance of winning. Not necessarily even because he played a terrible game, but because he would say some shit at Final Tribal that would make everybody else discount his own game. But I mean, there is a parallel here, not to get political, but to our current president in terms of how are these not scandals? This would end anybody else's career, but still, we have like, and that's what I felt about Judd. Is it
Judd
was
is
just
the
one
Donald
thing
Trump
after
of
the
this
other that like
That's what you're saying.
I just mean it's one thing after the other that
Yeah.
would have tanked anybody else's game.
Somehow
Like,
he
somehow skates out.
Yeah.
So I got to give him at least credit for like
if you
playing
have
up.
powerful people on your side, you're fine.
That's true.
The two of them have very similar vibes too, like
Yeah,
New
that's-
Yorkers who are just obnoxious.
Yeah.
Definitely both Republicans.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
one might not be.
One. Wait.
Who?
One is just pandering to the Republican Party.
Yeah.
You're
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
I just say
On
really
paper,
could be
he's a
either one.
Republican, but like
Yeah.
In actuality, he doesn't care.
Yeah. Anyways,
apolitical.
again, sorry to take it there.
That
but
ends the politics podcast.
Yeah. there's a lot of similarities there, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
But I think it also speaks to the little bit of social game that Judd has, that he's willing to play it off of, like, I'm a doorman. Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter that I lied. Like, the whole Gary thing, where Gary's like, okay, he lies and he says, by the way, idle clue said it's on the ground. It's not. It's in the trees. And Gary goes out and catches him looking in the trees and is like, okay, Judd lied to everybody. Exposes it at tribal council, and Judd just goes, okay, I lied. And then that's it. They don't talk about it again.
They're like, Judd.
They're just like, shit.
Hey, you know what? You are lying.
Yeah. And then Gary goes home. Like, it's a trend where the people who are exposing the fact that Judd is a terrible, like, liar, game player, whatever it is, they go home. So they get fired.
Very Donald.
Oh my God.
Fired.
Comes back around. Truly. But yeah, so Judd was a real interesting character this season.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He was crazy, but was he good TV? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The other thing I'm curious about is the team captain situation. How'd you feel about just like two players coming back and them leading each tribe? Because this is like the first that we see of this, but it does come back around. How do you feel about team captains as a concept, Andrew?
I don't mind it.
Yeah,
it's fine. I wish it was a little more of like a pick 'em situation, like a schoolyard pick. They've done that before.
Like the captains pick the teams?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this one was just like, you guys are on two tribes. Also, here's Stephanie and Bobby John. You're welcome.
How much do you think would have changed if they did pick them?
Probably not a ton, because like you don't really know the people. You're kind of just basing on like strength and appearance.
Yeah.
I think like maybe Danny doesn't win. Just because.
I mean, yeah, it would totally change everything.
Yeah.
But I think the response to like Bobby John and Steph would probably be the same. I'm guessing.
But I feel like we went through all of the range of emotions that are covered in team captain seasons in this one alone, where you go through different phases where you're enamored with somebody and you're like, I'm not going to vote this person off because it's like, Stephanie or like whoever it is. And then you start going into like, well, they had their chance. Let's get them out. A new player deserves to win. And then, there's all these different emotions and ways of dealing with it that like are present within the first season. It's like, let's talk about all the different social, and even Jeff, as they come out of the pyramid, Jeff's like a super easy target if you want him. There you go. And they're like, are you kidding me, Jeff? Like, don't blow up my game right off the bat. But yeah, it's an interesting dynamic that it adds to the game. And also, speaking of dynamics, first immunity idol, which we will talk about once we get to the outplay. But first, we're going to take a little quick ad break. And when we come back, again, we'll talk about the immunity idol, the challenges, and all the fun outplay shit for Survivor Guatemala. This season of Survivor is brought to you by cool-ass hats. Doesn't matter if you're Jeff Probst, Stephanie, or Danny Boatwright. You probably have a cool-ass hat. Welcome back to the podcast.
Jeff had some cool ass hats this season. Yeah. Jeff's fits this season we're on. I think if you are going
classic
as a
Jeff.
Yeah, I think if you're going as a Jeff for Halloween, Guatemala's your Jeff.
I think I already did.
You did. Oh.
I went as Jeff Probst for Halloween.
Oh yeah, we decided you should do Panama next time because Panama's another distinct Jeff.
I feel like he also was rocking some good fits in Vanuatu. That's like the classic earth tones,
Yeah. It was a very earthy season.
Yeah. I didn't really know. I didn't set out to be Guatemala Jeff.
You were just
a
Jeff.
Upon reviewing the footage, I do think that it's very,
You were a Guatemala Jeff. We'll post a picture.
Guatemala Jeff.
Did we take a picture?
Yeah, I have a picture of me as a
I remember
Guatemala Jeff.
I went as a very piss poor Billie Eilish.
Yeah, no, it was
and didn't take a picture of it, so I wasn't sure if we took a picture of yours.
Yeah, no, I have one.
That'll be the promo for this episode.
Yeah,
I'll post a pic of you as Jeff.
Absolutely.
Hold me to that.
And that's more, again, rightful heir to the stump, baby. I've already rocking the fits. It's just it comes instinctively with the territory.
Give me your best come on in, guys.
Come on in, guys.
That's not bad.
I liked it.
It's a little pitchy, dog.
I was gonna say it's
it wasn't really for me, dog, but like
it was a weird in between, right? Like you gotta pay homage in some way, but you also gotta put your own little spin on it. Like Jeff says it's not even come on in, guys, anymore. It's just come on in, guys. Like,
it's just like a
all
blur
one
of words.
For perspective, can we get Andrew to do one just to really show how defined Jax is?
You better not come for my job, bro.
What's the fuck? That was him clearing his voice.
Make sure.
Yes.
If you're gonna yell, take a step back.
Yeah. This is Andrew Dzigny auditioning for the role of Jeff Probst. Come on in, guys.
All right.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah,
I
you
like
really
it.
projected from the...
Oh, I felt it. It
your
came from my
diaphragm.
soul.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. Well, I'll have to, you guys are going to catch me, practicing in the mirror this next week so that...
Mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes. No, that's not
On
it.
guys.
Oh,
On
damn.
in, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. In, guys.
Yeah, putting emphasis on come on in, guys.
That's not it. That's not it.
That's not it?
I don't know
Okay.
about that. I don't know about that one.
Just straight up, Jeff. Okay. Anyway, let's get into the outplay portion of this game, which again, challenges, idols, all that fun stuff. You got some, Andrew?
I do. There were several good challenges this season.
Yeah, it was a pretty good challenge season. It was, again, a brutal season.
I would say we start off with that 11-mile hike.
Which is insane.
That literally destroys 6 people.
Yeah. Bobby John being one of them.
That shot of Bobby John, 2 shots in particular of Bobby John will stick with me for the rest of my life from this season. Mm-hmm. His eyes rolling back in his head as I was pretty sure he was dead.
Yeah.
And then
That's
in
the
the
other one.
next episode, the mud challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's just screaming.
See,
and his eyes are somehow went from the back of his head to outside of his head.
See, for me, one of the images that will stick with me is Bobby John and Jamie almost kissing at that one challenge
True.
where he's getting all up in his grill. That for me is a top 10 Bobby John moments.
Also, to go off that mud challenge, what the fuck was that challenge?
Tug
It
of war
was
in the
mud, tug of war, but if you started to kind of lose, I guess, you could just sprint to the other side and just beat the shit out of your opponent.
Really?
But why
That was a
would
part
you?
of it?
Why would you want to? Because then all of the rope is on that side.
Yeah.
That you're guaranteed.
You're giving them slack
If
and
they
they're
get
winning.
out of your grip for even a second,
Yeah.
they won this.
It's definitely not the most ideal version of this challenge that we see. I feel like they refine it maybe a little bit better over the years. Mud is always fun, though. I will say that. Anytime we're in mud, if we're catching pigs, if we're tug of warring, it doesn't matter. Just throw some mud in there, and it's a fun challenge.
Episode 3, the following episode.
Yeah.
They did that court ball thing.
Oh, yeah, which
was a very uniquely this season challenge.
It
Because
was
based on.
It's an actual Mayan sport
Yeah,
that
and-
I believe they used to play with severed heads. Right?
Uh-huh.
Am I tripping?
Yeah, the
when I say
ball
that?
was a skull, I think.
Yeah, but it's kind of like ultimate basketball. Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
Yeah.
but-
It's just basketball on nets.
Yeah, very cool challenge.
Remember when Brianna just wouldn't move that
Yeah.
whole challenge? They were like, Brianna, you have to move around. And she
Yeah.
was like, what? Have you never played basketball? Move a little bit. And she just wouldn't do anything.
Move off the ball, man.
The catapult challenge also.
It was a trebuchet.
I don't know. We've established I'm the stupidest member of this group. I don't know the difference between those two things.
Can we number crunch the difference between a catapult and a trebuchet? Because I really don't know. I just know one of them flings things and the other one catapults things. But yeah,
I'll do my damnedest.
I think there's a mechanism difference. I'm not sure specifically what that is. Though.
What is the word for the thing that's not
It's
catapult?
TREBUCHET, I believe.
Trebuchet.
Trebuchet.
Iridocyclitis.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure
when you
there's a
search
lot of-
it says trebuchet and catapult.
Yeah, I was going
They're
to
the
say.
same thing. They're really the same.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
it's just a different style of catapult.
Call me catapult and call you
Oh.
trebuchet.
Okay, it's a
Okay, wait,
more
hold on.
niche form.
Yeah, let me give you a more specific answer. Trebuchets are a type of catapult using gravity with a counterweight or traction, people pulling down to propel the arm. Yeah, so whereas I think a catapult.
Yeah, which I think a
It's,
catapult flings and then
This one uses different method of sending it.
Yeah, so I think
There
I
you
think
go.
it was a trebuchet, but I think
Number
that's
crunched.
probably a more it's like all squares are rectangles. Not all rectangles are squares. It's one of those things. It is a
It's
catapult
also got,
and
I
a
think, a
trebuchet.
much longer arm.
Oh,
than
okay.
Typical catapults.
I always saw them as they have a little hanging thing and then they fling it.
You guys want to watch a 2-minute video about how to build a trebuchet that Mythbusters put out?
Yeah, we're gonna take a real quick
Be right back.
real quick ad break. Go
Two
ahead.
more. I have 2 more challenge bits.
Yeah, of course. Let's hear them.
One is a real one and one's not. The last episode, that giant maze
Oh yeah,
that they built
That
for
was
them to
in the
run
shape of
through?
a bird or some shit,
Uh-huh.
right?
That
Yeah.
was the sheer size of that thing was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then also remember when they played Uno?
Yeah, they did play
They
Uno
made
at camp.
Oh,
they took leaves.
They made leaves.
Painted Uno on it, and
Yeah.
they played Uno.
I
which
also wrote that down.
Were they stacking? Did you see?
I didn't see. We are.
I hope they were.
We've said this before
Yeah,
for
we're,
sure.
we're big
that
Uno heads.
The thing we love almost more than Survivor, if not more than Survivor,
I think
is
more.
the game of Uno.
Yeah.
We absolutely love it. We destroy each other.
We get super competitive about
We've
it.
played, I would say, at minimum 450 games of Uno in less than a year.
That's low ball, man. That's really low. I guarantee, like, lifetime, I've played well over 1,000 games of Uno.
We all had, in our last run, we all had 85 separate wins.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We keep track. We have a king.
That's the scoreboard.
It was me.
Okay.
By
well,
one game.
Don't bring it
also,
up.
on my
Don't bring it up.
resume, okay.
Rookie
No,
of the
bring
year.
it up.
Okay, I won a game that started in 2019 and finished in 2020.
That is
game
impressive.
of the decade.
He won the game of the decade. That
The
is
game
true.
of the decade.
There were big stakes on that one. and
I'm
he
never
won
gonna
it.
let anybody forget it. But that's also
I
if
wasn't there. That's important.
Yeah,
too.
that's,
that
that's
is
to let the
huge.
I
people
didn't
know.
beat you, but
Yeah.
I do. Part of me when I want to go on Survivor. If I go on Survivor and I go to Ponderosa, I want to teach everybody house rules Uno because I feel like the
Be a fun
level
thing
of
to do.
competitiveness that is probably out there with that would just be fun. And again, I'm not like a Texas Hold'em person. I've heard like Tony and a couple other people like playing poker on like when they go to Ponderosa, but I would much rather play Uno.
When they go to the pond.
When they go to the band,
The Rosa.
do you
Big Rosa.
Big Rosa. Do you think we could? You know, Uno makes fucking every deck
Decks.
imaginable. They made BTS.
A Survivor deck?
Do you think we could pitch them a Survivor?
Okay, so
Goats and Game Bots and Uno collaboration.
For a Survivor.
Sure. What would be
Survivor.
on it? Would it just be different Jeff fits, or would it be different?
I think it would be all of our babes and hunks.
Oh, that's a good one.
that's
I was
not
just
bad.
thinking famous Survivor players. So like, there's
Which
a
would
Boston
be
Rob
most of our
card.
babes
There's
and
like a
hunks.
poverty card.
Yeah.
There's
But I mean, we can. Those people are our babes and our hunks as
Yeah,
well. So
true.
like
Most
a
of the
young
time they
Boston
get
Rob,
there, yeah.
yeah, right.
I'm into it.
And then
like the
especially-
wild cards are Jeff's.
We have enough to do that right now because if we're doing 1 through however many, like we can just do the season that was the babe and the hunk.
Yeah.
we can already make that, and then we do it every like 10
I think-
or so.
We're gonna be rich.
I
Yeah.
think we should make a
Hop
trial
on
deck,
a what?
like a trial deck, so we can pitch it to Mattel.
Yes.
I think they would be down.
I
Baby
think they
steps.
would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you or someone you know it has the possibility of making
Yeah,
this happen,
if you work-
hook us up.
If you or a loved one works for Mattel, specifically
Or Survivor.
or Survivor in the Uno division of any, please contact us because this is a very serious idea that we have.
Survivor Uno will happen.
Yes.
Yeah. And then also, like, we'll make, like, the normal deck that's good. And then for my personal use, I would like a Jeff deck. A purely
Ooh,
Jeff
a purely
deck.
Jeff deck.
Yeah, just different Jeff fits, you know? Or
Do you-
Jeff doing dangerous things, like on top of a volcano. Maybe a jet ski Jeff, for sure. That's our wild card.
Skydiving Jeff. Yeah.
And then, like, one Rosie.
There's a Rosie
That's
card.
like our
It's-
zero
The skip
card.
card is Rosie.
Yeah.
Get him out of here!
Yeah. Bryant Gumbel should be our draw 8 or whatever.
Try it.
Do you guys think there is like Survivor other like Monopoly? Because like Monopoly for a long time was making anything that was popular, they were making a version of it. Like there's a Big Bang Theory Monopoly.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So like I would think that there's a Survivor Monopoly.
Yeah, I mean, maybe back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, I was surprised there was Survivor Pringles.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a
I feel like there's some
curveball.
weird branding things back, but like not so much anymore. I would love to see a resurgence in that.
I would love to see Survivor come back.
So
Yeah.
as far as I can tell, there is no Survivor Monopoly,
Damn.
but
Yeah, it's a shame.
Survivor Yahtzee?
Yeah, there are a lot of Survivor board games. I know that we have one, but there's other ones too apparently. So it's all over the place.
All right, Survivor Uno. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yep, hit us up. All right,
Please
so
don't steal our idea.
yeah, we just gave that one away.
Hold on, how do you
I don't know if
trademark
they make this
something?
anymore too? I'm looking. It's the game. It's just sealed from the. I think it's from the year 2000. And it's $45.
Wow.
Worth
That's not-
every penny.
Yeah, I would buy that for $45.
One left, and they're selling it through Etsy. which
My
means-
birthday's coming up, guys.
That is true. We do have to do something Survivor themed.
I love feeling obligated to get. people
Yeah, no,
things.
you don't have to give me shit.
In this economy, Jack. Come on.
It's true. The other thing, outplay, is like the rewards. I feel like we got some really good rewards on this one. We got a crocodile-proof deck setup. Do you remember that? Like where they just put it out in the lake and you could go swimming?
Because it was like 800 degrees outside. Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Again, this is more of a social thing. But it was Danny's birthday and they all just paddle over to the other camp and say, hey, want to hang out? Is that... That rarely happens. I don't know if it's by choice, like if they just can't interact anymore, or if this is like a special case of like, all right, we'll let you do it for this time.
Danny had 2 really big moves that you noticed. I mean, she played a great game, obviously. She won. But she had 2 really great moves. One was winning that
the birthday
thing in
party
the auction.
thing. Oh,
remember when she did that?
Yeah, the
she won
advantage in the
that
immunity
won her
challenge.
that game and basically won her the game.
Yeah.
And then also her birthday party, I wrote down was like one of her big moves.
Yeah.
Because it's just a way to get everyone to like her.
Mm-hmm. And also, I mean, taking Steph to the end. Like, that was her decision, and I think she made the correct one.
She took Rafe, she lost.
Yeah, because Steph had a good point in the reunion. Her and Rafe played the same game. But for whatever reason, Steph took a lot of the weight of that. And so all she had to be was, like with Rafe, he's likable. So she had to just be more likable than Steph because Steph had already pissed off at least half the jury.
So many people.
And so, yeah, she did a good job. But again, inevitably, we'll talk about it in a more official winner review later. Yeah, but, the stealth bomber approach of she beat the radar, so... She wasn't necessarily the one we were focusing on this season. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's a negative thing because we had a lot of really good characters. So being able to focus more on Rafe or Judd or Jamie, that's a positive thing.
And I liked Danny.
Yeah.
Again, we'll get to this later, but I liked Danny a lot.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler, she wins the season.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. I feel maybe for you, Andrew, part of this season is Danny kind of comes out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, that last, third,
if you didn't know,
who's this Boatwright lady?
If you didn't know, you would be like, Steph goes to the end, Steph wins.
Yeah.
The only reason you know that she didn't is because
I knew
Danny was going to win, right? And so I think it is, for especially a season where team captains are new and we don't know how that's going to play out. She was like, they'd never give it to me if they took it to the end. Mm-hmm. But there's also a mentality of if somebody's won before, if you take it to the end, you're a dummy. They're going to win again. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Anyway, we're going to take another real quick ad break, and then we'll come back with Outlast for Survivor Guatemala. This season of Survivor is brought to you by a whole fucking fleet of 2006 Pontiac Storms. Hope you didn't want one, because that's Cindy's new car. Welcome back to the podcast.
Cindy ain't giving you one, motherfucker.
Yeah, no.
Oh, fucking fleet.
Again, correct decision, but also, it was an interesting situation because Cindy's insecurity about it caused her to talk about it incessantly, and everybody else was not feeling it at all. So she kind of played herself out.
Well, they really doomed Cindy because it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, but you also don't have to talk about it as much as Cindy did. You know what I mean? I understand she's proud and happy, but yeah.
Also, I get too that you're kind of freaking out about the decision too of did I make the wrong choice? Should I have given them cars? Are they all now mad at me and strategizing back at camp how to get rid of me?
It's one of those vicious cycle things where you're insecure, so you're talking about it. People don't want to tell you, so they're not speaking up. You just kind of you just dig yourself deeper, unfortunately. There's also something I want to talk about. It's kind of a mix of outplay and outwit, which I love it when the show starts to blend a lot of these elements. There was no traditional merge feast, another reason why this season is so brutal, but it was a challenge where you had to balance a pot on your head, and if you wanted to, you could choose to sit out and partake in a merge feast. And pretty much everybody from the Rafe-Stephanie alliance sat out and ate. And as they were, Jamie was taunting Bobby John for not having the numbers. And Rafe kind of has this moment where he says, "Am I a member of the Axis of Evil?" And it's kind of the moment that alliance starts to fall apart a little bit.
Which episode was this? Episode
8.
Yeah, I wrote down Rafe says, it's not cool that we're making them do shit for us and then taking the stuff that they're doing. And he's like, yeah, am I working for the Axis of Evil?
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
right,
I love too that
line.
I also, that line is kind of what made him my hunk of the season.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wow, that's to recognize that we're at the top.
Yeah.
And we are misusing our
and
power.
we're like spitting on the people at the bottom. Yeah. And that's kind of like a crossroads a lot of people find themselves at. I just love, this is another thing. I love, as being a writer, I love writers on Survivor because they're very aware of the tropes that they fall into or the situations they find themselves in, and they're able to communicate it very, very well. The Axis of Evil thing is like an all-time quote for me because it's like this situation we see all the time, and it's just one of the best ways of communicating that message.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of quotes, this is actually a very good season. Lots of quotable moments. I want to just mention this because of the little notes I took. It was Brandon said this, and I believe he probably heard this somewhere. But he said, what is this? The brave may not live long, but the cautious don't live at all.
yeah. Sick
Great
line.
quote, right?
Yeah.
Live by that shit.
And Bobby John was talking about Brian, and he said, if you want a kamikaze to bust a wedge open,
Yeah, right.
Brian's the one to, and I was like, what in the world? That's such a cool saying.
You mean Brian from New England?
Okay.
As a New England man,
Here we go.
born and bleed New England,
Yeah.
this motherfucker goes, I'm from New England. You know me. I'm from New England. He's not from New England. He's from New York. And then I was like, okay, maybe he was an Ivy League student. I was like, maybe he went to Yale. Maybe he went to Harvard. He went to Columbia. In New York City. He is not a New England man.
Are we sure he said he's from New England?
1,000% positive.
Yeah, he did say
What
he's
a
from
silly
New
thing
England.
to say.
I don't realize the big fuss. Like if
Don't
there's-
lie to me about where you're from.
Well, I mean,
Was he lying to them?
sometimes there are
I was in a
things.
confessional.
Let me ask this: what do you consider to be Midwest? Is Kansas Midwest? Is Nebraska Midwest, or is that just more mid?
No, I think that's Midwest.
Okay. Well, I feel like there are states or places that are kind of
New England
ambiguous.
is very distinct. It is
Okay.
those states and those states only.
Okay.
It is not New York.
It's not even like an alternate. Like,
No,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
not even like a, hey, maybe. No, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, city-data.com says, no, New York State is not considered part of the 6 New England states.
So what
even
is
though
it
New
then?
York State does go way back to colonial times like New England.
Okay. Well,
It's-
see, that's
There's
where I would
there's
think-
an association with it, but it is not part of New England.
okay. It's just like a friendly neighbor. Well, an unfriendly neighbor.
Yeah, we
Maybe he
don't love
wishes
each
he
other,
was from
but
New England. Maybe he hates NYC.
a lot of people who grew up in New York
Yeah.
move out of the city and move to New England.
I'm just saying, maybe the issue is not with, trying to say that you're from New England when you're really from New York, and just how much pressure you put on certain places to be one place. Like, if somebody else were to be like, I'm from the Midwest, and they were from, like, South Dakota, I'd be like, all right, you're not the Midwest, but I'll let you have that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't live or die Midwest.
I live or die New England. And
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
you're not one of the 6.
That's on you.
You're New York. Be proud that you're from New York.
Speaking of New York, another good quote that I had. God damn it. Another good quote that I had.
Hey, that is
I
a good
believe
quote.
this is- right? I think Rafe was saying this about Judd, and he was like just talking about how you can't trust him. And he's like, you can trust that you can't trust him.
Yeah.
Which I think it's a nice play on words.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Boom.
Right? It's you can trust that you can't trust a pirate or something.
Probably.
Like that. Doesn't
It seems like a
Captain Jack or
common
something?
phrase,
Yeah,
but it just felt very good in that moment.
yeah. I'm on to you.
Yeah.
Rafe stealing from Pirates of the Caribbean. Right.
Brian claiming a false
Plagiarized.
identity. Rafe
mean-
plagiarizing.
Brian too is kind of, as the Goats and Game Bots podcast, he's for sure a game bot.
Oh, yeah,
and this is
definitely
one
big
of the
game bot
most
alert.
notable instances of somebody playing way too hard from the get-go and being instantly saw as a threat that needs to go.
He also looked at himself as like the best player.
Yeah.
And came off really cocky.
Although I did hear for Winners at War, Brian gave Danny like dossiers on like every player
Really?
who was in Winners at War, so that she would
Hell
be able
yeah.
to. Again, didn't necessarily put it to that good a use, but the
Nice
fact
that he did it.
Yeah, right. He still like follows it and is game body and some of his tendencies. So, shout out Brian
Game body.
for being a game bot, not necessarily
Shaking
a good
that little
one.
Game body.
Taking that little game body.
GameStop booty. Yeah.
I think a soundbite just went off.
Oh, did it? No, whoops. Again, we're getting to the point I can't even
I love it.
keep track.
It adds character to the show.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into Outlast, and before we get to our winner review, Danny Boatwright, one of the things I also want to explore is the other person that outlasted in this game was Stephanie, right? And seeing as the season that she had right before it, I think one of the interesting things to discuss would be, why did Stephanie lose, right? Like, what do you think? Because it's a returner. She's one of the team captains. She makes it all the way to the end, and it doesn't quite go the way that we would expect it to.
She made too many enemies along the way. She got really close to people.
Yeah.
And then would burn them.
Okay. So you think it's more of the relationship specifically that she built and how they were founded on trust, and then when that got pulled, it was kind of like a...
Yeah, I think it was a especially salty jury.
Yeah, like Judd hated
a lot of
her
people,
for it.
Yeah, because I think she did a good job in her final travel, kind of saying, like, you know, like, you guys would have done... Here's my impression. You guys would have done the same things as me. But, like, you know, that's... Yeah, and I think that she had a point, you know. I think she got painted in a certain light just because of who she is and how she acts a little bit. But it's not to say that Danny doesn't deserve the win, but I certainly don't think that Steph should have got
deserved
a 6-1
to lose as much as she did. Yeah, it should have been closer.
I think we said it kind of earlier too. Like, Steph had a lot of expectations coming in. People knew who Steph or thought they knew who Steph was. So when she turned out to be a different person, it burnt.
They got Donnie Darko.
Well,
They got Donnie Darko.
They got Donnie Darko hard.
Bringing it back around.
Shit,
nice. Super meta ep. But I think...
She dominated, though.
Yeah, and that's... Yeah. I think this is also the first time of, again, somebody getting painted into a corner by the edit. You know, like, there are certain times where we get 4 or 5 time returners or whatever, and the edit is different, or maybe it's the same for 2 times, and then like something that has always been a quality about that person is revealed like in the 3rd or the 4th return, and you're like, oh, I get it. It kind of contextualizes the other ones a little bit, because this isn't new, right? And like, for me, for Steph, it's kind of like she called some people retarded. She called Bobby John gay. Like, she kind of, it was more of a Jersey girl than I think we were giving her credit for.
Well, come on.
Yeah.
I'm from Jersey, I can say it. Come
on.
Yeah,
but that goes over great with a crowd of like Judd and Jamie. And,
yeah, that's how she got to like know Judd so well. Like, she and Judd are very similar.
But
so when she
like, I love how she discriminates, you know.
but I mean, like, that's why her and Rafe play the same game. Rafe gets to the end, he wins because he made the same moves. He made good moves. Maybe was even less close to the people than Stephanie, and in this case, that's a good thing. Yeah. And at the same time, he's much more likable of a person, or at least didn't have the qualities that were like, you know, I don't know, calling people out or being derogatory or whatever it is, you know. So he's just not a Jersey girl. He's a self-proclaimed small little gay man from small little gay Mormon. Isn't that what he said? Yeah. Said something like, who would have thought a small little gay Mormon would have been a challenge beast? Yeah.
Is he from Pittsburgh? I thought he said he was from Utah.
Pittsburgh Pennsylvania. Maybe he went to school there. Want me to look it up?
Yeah. You don't have to be from Utah if you're Mormon.
But I have a 90% chance.
That's true. It's very high.
Born in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay, yeah.
I think he now lives in Pittsburgh. He moved to Pittsburgh at age 5.
Yeah.
But still Mormon.
Yeah.
But I also think it says a lot about Stephanie that Rafe voted for her. Someone who I think saw the game very clearly, you know. Yeah. He had a few weird judgment calls, but I think, you know.
Voted from a game pod.
Well, I think, he voted for 2 reasons, right? Number 1, I think, is, again, the game body reason of you played a really good game. Everybody else is salty. I can look past that and see that. But part of that is also because he wasn't mad at her because she didn't have to make that judgment call. She would have taken him, you know. Or if she didn't, he would feel differently. He was also mad because Danny cut him. So it's a 2-sided coin of who would have known if Stephanie were the one to make the decision of I'm taking Danny to the end. It might be a little bit different. It might have been a 7-0 win as opposed to a 6-1. So it depends on the situation. Yeah. But I think it's also great segue into winner review. You know, Danny Boatwright. How do you feel about Danny in Guatemala?
I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, I like her a lot.
Very impressed. Forgot how well she played.
I like her way more than I thought I was going to like her.
Especially watching Winners at War, we were all just kind of like, what's she even doing here? And turns out she actually earned her way there. She kind of didn't realize.
Stayed as far under the radar as she could while still kind of keeping a hold on everybody. I know what everybody's doing at all times.
Yeah. So good.
you don't see this in Winners at War really, but Danny's really smart.
Yeah.
I think her biggest and my favorite moment of the season, I think, is when from a mile away she spotted Gary. Right. She was like, he used to be an NFL quarterback. He was like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to hide that. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
She spotted it from a mile away, and he's like a third string for like 10 different teams. He was not a prominent player, but she was like, no, yeah, that's him.
It's okay.
I think she's really smart.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, the biggest, it's not even a gripe. It's like, because she was so wary about production itself, revealing her gameplay and her secrets to people, she didn't give them a whole lot in terms
close
of
to the vest.
Yeah. But that's also why it kind of seems like an out of the blue win, because she was playing it so close to the chest that she wasn't revealing what she was thinking. But the entire time it became very apparent of, this is the crack I'm going to exploit. I'm noticing that these are where, like, she had the benefit of a very dysfunctional alliance that she was going against. But still, to be able to work your way into those cracks, like at the end, it was never, we need to get Danny out of here, and she had to win her way to the end. It was, okay, let's continue the trend of picking off people we don't trust in our alliance.
And I have a quick number crunch.
Yeah.
Is it close to the chest or close to the vest?
Could it be both?
I think I've heard it both ways.
I have always heard it close to the chest. Yeah.
This is funny. So actually, there's a podcast I used to listen to, and they had this exact question come up because they were talking about the Dark Knight. Yeah.
Because that's where I got it from.
Yeah. So, and like, they make the case saying close to the chest makes more sense than close to the vest.
Yeah, I mean...
But, right? Like, they both kind of mean the same thing, but not everyone wears a vest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I've never worn a vest.
I think they came to the conclusion that, like, the right thing is close to the chest.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look up close to the chest, there's a lot of response. When I look up close to the vest, Urban Dictionary is the first thing to pop up. So I have to think that's...
It's kind of like a slang of like...
Is it yeah, so everything
is like...
It's
a New England thing.
Yeah, so I think close to the vest is definitely like a New England thing.
Y'all wear vests a lot in New England?
Yes, which is another reason Brian gives off huge New England vibes.
Yeah.
So I was like...
You're just disappointed? Well,
I mean... was like, I guess he's from New England, so when I found out he wasn't, I was like, wow. Identity theft is not a joke, Brian.
Here's the thing. Again, we're not originally from Chicago.
That's true.
I would say we are some Chicagoan motherfuckers.
I'm Chicago as fuck.
Yeah, right?
I drank a bunch of Malort last night. Had like 4 old styles. Yeah.
Love 'em. Yeah.
I didn't.
I do Chicago handshakes even though I live here.
The bean?
The bean?
The bean?
I mean, that was a bad... Nobody...
I made the bean. All right? Lake Michigan? Mm-hmm. I bathe in it.
When
Chicago as fuck.
Drake had that line, 3:30, meet me at the bean. I felt that.
The best time to go to the bean, in case people are wondering.
3:30 in the morning?
3:30 in the morning,
Oh, yeah.
Meet me at the bean. First of all, who's meeting at the bean? That's such an inconvenient place to meet.
Yeah.
Well, you know, rappers, NBA players during All-Star Weekend. It's
Well,
freezing
I mean-
cold out. They're like, hey, 3:30 at the bean. Let's
Yeah,
go.
3:30 in the morning. You don't want to have to take the red line to Lake and then walk on that weird block of, like,
I think you would probably
Randolph.
take the red line a stop further.
We're arguing about how to get to the beach. Okay, so you would instead of taking it to Lake, you would take it to Monroe and then walk over 3 blocks.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because I feel like from Lake...
Yeah, how would you get to the bean?
Honestly, you know, I think Chicago's such a beautiful city, and that the Riverwalk is pretty cool. I would
You'll
probably
walk
grab a
over
divvy.
the
I'd probably
bean?
grab a divvy bike, sponsored by
okay.
Lyft. Yeah, and then I would just take that motherfucker down to probably about Jackson, hook a right, and then just
get to see
mosey
the
on over
Buckingham
the
Fountain.
nearest. Yeah, mosey on over to the nearest divvy station. Have a little walk over the bean, Millennium Park. You know.
Yeah, I think that is it is
Chicago.
good. You got a lot of stuff in the area, so you can stop at the Buckingham Fountain and then like make your way diagonally over there. You know, maybe if there's a concert at the Portillo Band Shell, you know, you could stop and see what's going on there. Go blind during a
I
Chance
was
the
like, do you
Rapper
mean the
concert.
place where I went blind? Fun story. I went to a Chance the Rapper concert. It wasn't even a Chance the Rapper concert. It was, the group that he was in?
Save money.
No.
Is it?
Oh, social experiment.
Social experiment. It was a social experiment
Donnie
concert.
Trumpet?
Yeah. But like it was right when Chance's third album came out. So like he was blowing up. He was getting huge. And they were like, surprise guest Chance. So like 800 people filled this one small section of Grant Park. I was one of them.
It was like the hottest summer
It was
on
the
record.
hottest day of the year. I had not drank or eaten anything because I came right from work. I left work early to go to this thing. We get there, we're standing amongst all these people. I'm sweating. And then all of a sudden, I was just like, things are really blurry. I don't feel great. And then my friend that was with me was like, yeah, you don't look great. And then I went, oh, I can't see anything. He goes, what? And I was like, literally cannot see
So
anything.
bright.
No, it was dark.
Oh.
Everything was dark.
Yeah.
I was
blind.
I was like, I cannot see a single thing. And then,
Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
And then the person that was with me was like, well, what do you want to do? And I like bent down. I got some of my vision back. And then I was like, I'm gonna go. And he's like, do you want me to come with you? And I was like, no, it's fine. Obviously, I want you to come with me. I can't see anything. He stayed watching the Chance the Rapper concert, and I like had to walk 5 feet.
You wander onto Columbus Street.
I had to like walk 5 feet, sit down, and then I would go blind again. So I had to sit down to get my vision back, stand up and walk another 5 feet. I'd go blind and bend down again. At one point,
Take you like an hour to get to the red line.
At one point, I walked up to this couple. They were sitting waiting for Chance to start, and I just went, you guys seem like a lovely couple, but I think I'm having some kind of heat reaction, and I can't see anything right now, so I'm just going to sit with you guys for 5 minutes. And they went, oh, okay, have fun.
Don't die.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I got some water, got my vision back, and still saw Chance the Rapper.
Nice.
Oh, nice. So it does have a happy ending.
Yes.
Also, one last thing, I realized we got all the way to the end. I meant to do a challenge. We didn't do the challenge.
We never did the challenge.
We never did the challenge. We were supposed to do a challenge for fire tokens. Do you guys want to do it before
I think we can do it. Crank it out real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
before
now?
we get
Okay.
into our Danny?
Yeah, we meant to do this in the outplay section, but let's do it right now.
Because this is a goofy episode.
Yeah, exactly. And so the challenge, again, we got 4 questions. It's one of those typical rope chopping games where it's like, who is blank? And then if you're in the majority of how all of us answer, then you get a fire token for it. We got 4 chances to win fire tokens here. And
Very neat.
These questions are a little more interesting than some of the other ones we've had. But the first one is, who out of us is the most need of nourishment? And again, you can interpret that however you want.
I was going to say, is it physical, like food, or is it emotional?
Let me know what you guys thought in your answer.
Got it.
Right? So,
Let's have
anybody
Zachary
want to
go
open it
first.
up? Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. I picked me. I'm the one who needs some nourishment.
Knew it.
to be honest.
I knew it.
What'd you mean by that? Just good old-fashioned food?
Hungies.
The hungies.
Hungies are
Who's the hungiest member of the group?
I think I'm always the hungiest.
Okay.
That's true. I would say you're the hungriest.
Yeah.
What'd you...
I put me, not because
Yeah.
of actual physical food nourishment. I just need someone to hold me.
Okay, you need a little TLC. Okay, yeah, I can see that. And I also put myself.
It's a
We
wash.
all put ourselves because
Or everybody does.
because I eat like shit. So I figured you guys would be like, oh, he needs some real minerals and vitamins, and he's not getting them. So, okay, so I guess we all get a fire token there.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, great. Now this one is it may hurt somebody's feelings.
Good.
Unless we all put ourselves again. Who smells the worst?
I said Ambrose.
Oh, the cat.
he is stinky.
He's stinky.
I mean, that is the correct answer.
Yeah, you get a fire token for that answer. 'Cause,
What'd you get?
I put myself because in quarantine, I have a tendency to go a couple days without showering.
I also put you for the same reason.
Yeah.
Not because I think you're stinky. I don't smell you, but like. Yeah.
I don't shower as often because I'm not going into work every day.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I don't have to.
Understandable. All right, so I guess we all get a fire token.
Yeah,
for that
well,
as
I was going to say, yeah. Go ahead.
Because again, the correct answer is stinky.
Yeah, Amber.
There's a
Perfect.
little
Yeah,
cat.
if you guys want to give me one, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I will sacrifice it for
Yeah.
that bit.
Yeah, why not?
I really will.
All right.
This is whose line is it anyway?
Yeah,
Everything's
points
made
don't
up and the
matter.
points don't matter.
Yeah.
Points don't
Again,
matter.
we're just gonna use these to put out more episodes.
If I ever buy my host of an episode, the way I'm starting it is welcome to Goats and Game Bots, the show where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
That is true.
You just spoil it.
We're gonna
for
get
everybody?
sued. Yeah.
No, you can't.
Drew
do it.
Carey's not going to sue me.
No, the
He's a buddy.
listeners know now.
That's true.
That's true.
Don't worry, I'm never going to buy an episode.
Okay.
That thing would
Bleep
be
it all out.
chaos.
Yeah. All right. So this one is an interesting one, especially out of context. Who most deserves a picnic on a Mayan temple?
Wow.
I said Jack.
I also said Jack.
Okay.
I think Jack does a lot for, especially
He
for
does a lot for this podcast. That's
and
why I
he should
put
be
him.
rewarded.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys. I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
did not put that. Put Andrew.
So we get a fire
yeah,
token.
Yeah.
Why do I get a picnic on top of a
But
Mayan?
I don't. Well, I'm just, for everything you do for the household.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I don't get one for that, but you guys do. Congrats. And this one, who has the most tribe pride? And for that, I mean, you can interpret it however you want. For me, I was like, who has the most goats and gamebots pride? Like, of this little tribe we got going.
My answer is incorrect, but go ahead, Zach.
No, I mean, it's however you wanted to interpret it.
I said Jack.
Okay.
Again.
I put Andrew, but I put Andrew because, like, I fucking bleed blue for the Patriots.
Oh, okay. So it was more of like a New England thing.
Yeah.
And see, I put
bleed blue.
I put Zach
Everybody gets on
because Zach is the one who advocates for goats and gamebots in almost every conversation we have.
That is true. He brings it up to everyone we meet.
Your brother came over this weekend and Zach was like, "Hey, we got a podcast. You should check it out."
You ever heard of Goats and Gamebots?
And I was like,
Or did you
Chris
follow us on Instagram?
Chris would not like this. I don't.
No, he would not.
Worth a shot, you
So,
know?
Yeah.
No, when our
Market it,
neighbors
but-
brought us the table the other day, they saw our little podcast studio, and they were like, "What's going on here?" And Zach was like, "Oh boy, do I have something for you."
Well, I said we have a podcast, and he was like, "Oh, what's the name?" I was like, I have to tell him, and I have to explain it because the name needs explaining.
That is true.
All right, so here's our current fire token count based off that challenge. I have 12 fire tokens. Zach has 15 fire tokens. Andrew has 14. And by the way, 15 is the max that, again, if you get 15 fire tokens, if you spend it, we will watch and do a season of anything. So you currently can buy the most expensive thing on the menu.
I can.
Or you can continue to hoard fire tokens in a very Jeff Bezos way and just make sure that nobody else has them. It's up to you.
I will not redistribute the wealth.
Yeah, right? This is a very...
Eat the rich.
We're
gonna hold
shameless
off right
capitalists here.
I do have my eyes on the tarp.
Okay.
As do I.
All right. Well, yeah, tune in next episode where we buy a tarp. And 4 tarps, apparently.
4
Four different tarps.
All right, but getting back into the end of the episode, now that we did a fun little challenge there, let's do a quick winner review on Danny Boatwright. Again, we were talking about her. I guess we've already kind of done that.
Let's jump right back into it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that is...
Anything
maybe it's
more to
better,
say?
like, yeah, what left do we have to say?
Yeah.
I was like, I said what I wanted. I think she's very smart. I think she deserved this win
Yeah.
by really just flying under the radar as much as she could, but still keeping a handle on everything that was
Yeah.
happening in the game.
Yeah.
I think in terms of all the other winners we have, it might be underwhelming just from an edit perspective. But again, that's no fault of the editor. She really wasn't giving them much to go off of
Yeah.
because she was smart. So I
Wasn't that
can't
her
really
plan?
fault her for it.
Wasn't she
Yeah.
intentionally trying to, like...
Yeah, she was worried that production, because again, I think there is a legitimate truth to this of if you tell production something, they might slant questions differently for other people of like, I'm sure there was an element of that with the Michelle and Wendell situation where they knew Wendell was like, yeah, we just kicked it. And so they were like, well, he's super casual about it. Let's ask her questions.
How does
that
Michelle feel
yeah,
about
right?
this?
So it was a little bit of like generating drama. I'm sure that happens.
I
And
mean,
so-
I wouldn't be surprised too if, like, in that situation, they straight up told her, they were like, hey, Wendell, to quote him exactly, was like, yeah, we used to kick it.
Yeah. How would you
How do-
describe
yeah, how do
it?
you describe it?
I'm sure there is an element of that is true. So I can't fault her for it.
Yeah.
But again, that's also why, in terms of when you're thinking about all the winners, she doesn't jump out because she's not in it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like it really is, more of a story of why Stephanie lost as opposed to why Danny in particular won.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything else on the Danny thing?
I was really impressed with her challenge performances too. I kind of forgot about.
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Won the final challenge to get herself to the end. So
Yeah.
gotta respect that.
And again, paid at the Survivor auction smartly to get, and also bought like $20 beef jerky, which is a steal.
Compared to beef jerky in the store, that's like
Yeah.
$600. Yeah.
This might help contextualize it a little bit. What about like what is Danny's sign? Let's do a little Zach's astrology corner. Yeah.
Just a brief one.
Let me double check, but I'm almost positive she's a Cancer.
Okay. Is that cancers? I typically think of this is just based off what we have talked about, in our spare time. Are cancers like wishy-washy, or am I just kind of? Is there a stigma about that?
Nah,
Okay.
not that I know of.
Because for me, it's interesting how pragmatically Danny played the game, knowing that she is a Cancer. Nothing to add. I mean, this is your corner.
Like, I don't really know how to explain it. Cancers are just like really chill, and Danny's pretty chill. You know, she's good keeping her cool. You know, they say like Cancers like cry a lot or like sad or whatever. But as far as like their other emotions go, I feel like they have a really good hold on them.
Okay.
So maybe you can make a connection in that. I feel like that kind of can be connected to her poker face. Yeah. How easy it was for her to kind of like, and how when things were serious, she was just kind of like, chill.
And also how easy it was for her to connect with people like Rafe and Stephanie. Because I feel part of the reason she was there at the end was not only because their alliance was flaky, but because they liked Danny so much.
She's very personable.
Yeah, and so being able to connect with people on a deeper level definitely helped her game. So if that's something associated with the sign, then,
Like her birthday party. She's very personable. She just wants to kind of be everyone's friend.
Yeah, but that's also why people like Jamie were like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? These people are the enemy, right? Like, it's a different game than what Jamie and Judd were playing. Yeah. But that's also why she got to the end.
Well, if you want... Sorry, I wasn't prepared for the whole astrology thing.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spring it on you.
Well, it's okay, but so I just did a number crunch for typical Cancer traits. See how many of these we can connect to Danny. So it's like being nurturing, sensitive, compassionate, self-protective, security-seeking, offering, loving, and displaying a goofy sense of humor. I don't know how much humor I saw from her, but
I like
most of the rest of those. God,
fuck.
That's twice now.
Self-protecting, especially like when Gary was going down, she voted for Gary, and Gary was like her biggest ally in the game for most of it. And so I think there is an element of like, let me exploit the cracks here, let me figure out what I need to do. It was kind of scrappy gameplay for a little bit. All right, so that was kind of a winner review there. We're going to take another real quick ad break, and when we come back, we'll start wrapping it up with the fun babe hunk debates, some fun crunches, and then our season review. This season of Survivor is brought to you by Folgers Coffee at Casa de Louis. Some of the best damn coffee Zach has ever had in his life comes from Guatemala. Fun fact.
True.
Yeah.
Shout out Dark Matter.
Yeah, welcome back.
Surprise fun fact. I do not like coffee, but 3 for 3.
It's right there.
Yeah, this is another reason. Zach keeps hitting his elbow on
hit my elbow.
Yeah. We'll get the podcast stew figured out before Panama.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Should fix it.
And maybe get a third headphone jack. Who knows?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't get crazy on that. Come on.
Right. Might really go all out. What were you going to say?
Surprising fun fact, I do not like coffee.
Yeah.
But I have had Guatemalan coffee before. That shit goes off.
Yeah.
It's smooth. It's good.
Yeah. All right. And we're back.
We are.
Yeah. So to kick off this part, we always like to talk about our fun babe debates and hunk debates.
They're very fun.
They're very fun.
We love them.
Just very playful.
Yeah, of course. So without further ado,
It's time to get dirty.
Time to get dirty.
Oink, oink.
Yeah. So who do we feel is maybe the babe of this season? Let's start there.
I have to go with Stephanie.
All right.
I have to agree.
And a back-to-back babe of the season stitch here.
Okay.
Which is exciting. I'm just like, I think she's a really fun player to watch. Also, I know this is the best season that we're going to get from her. So with that in mind, it's almost like a tribute. AKA being like...
She hasn't won enough?
Well, what I'm trying to say is Hero vs. Villains is not a great season for her. So, like, this is my farewell to one of my favorite players.
Okay.
So, you're my babe this year, even though you had some problematic moments.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
See, I personally, my vote is for Cindy. I think Cindy is a underrated person this season. She clearly knows what she wants, which is a 2006 Pontiac Storm. I can't let anything get in the way of that. You said it yourself, has an attractive job. Zookeeper.
Yeah. She's got a sexy job.
She's nourishing, right, towards the animals, right?
Plus, it's just cool. It's a cool job, though.
Just handling exotic animal shit, super sexy.
It's cooler than, like, video editor.
Yeah.
That's hard to... I think video editing is pretty cool.
Cooler than Zookeeper.
Yeah.
But...
Cooler than a woman who works with lions.
I mean, you're smart. You know how to, like... use things, you operate a system.
I'm one of the stupidest people I know. I just mastered a program.
And
She
that
mastered
is hot.
every animal in the animal kingdom.
It's not as hot.
She mastered it like it's an element that she can control. She could speak to animals. If the Kevin James movie is anything like reality.
Wow. Went to Kevin James, not Dr. Dolittle. Interesting. I know that he's the zookeeper and he can speak.
That's the more of a direct.
Understandable, but I would have went Dr. D first.
That's fair. That's fair.
Dr. D.
Here's the real question: Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Obviously.
Yeah. Obviously.
I didn't see the Robert Downey Jr. one, but apparently at one point
It was real bad.
he sticks his hand up a dragon's ass.
Yeah, and it farts.
And pulls out a bunch of like bagpipes and
whimsical
shit.
things.
And
yeah.
that's how the movie ends. Like that's the climax of the
Spoiler.
movie is he sticks his hand up
Yeah.
a dragon's ass.
Sorry, spoilers for anybody who was hoping to watch the
Doolittle
new-
starring Robert Downey Jr. His big movie post Tony Stark.
Yeah, but I would say Cindy, and I want to make this clear: you were also Team Cindy
Until one fateful moment.
Yeah. You want to explain what that moment is?
I found out she was a twin, and I don't like them.
Andrew has a crippling. This is not like the dolphin thing that's coming out of left field. Like, this is something I've known about you for as long as we've been friends. Andrew does not like twins.
Twins genuinely scare me.
Yeah.
I don't like that there's two people who share the same face. It's just picture like one of them becomes like president. There's like a good one and a bad one. And the good one becomes president. And then the bad one takes over. He like kills his brother and takes over.
Okay,
Could you imagine?
So what you're afraid of is like this really absurd sci-fi movie premise.
It's just a concept that I've had. I also don't like that they like can telepathically communicate with
I don't
each
think
other.
twins can.
I'm positive they
I
can.
don't think that's a feature
Those
of
freaks
twins.
of nature.
I mean, just wait until you hear about triplets, bro.
Again, not a fan. When you start, Octomom was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
I don't think all 8 of those children had the same face, did they?
I don't know.
The octuplets? I think it was just had...
They were just 8 at once.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 different types of twins, right? There's the ones that share the same face.
Identical and fraternal.
Yeah.
I'm cool with fraternal.
Okay.
I was gonna say fraternal's not good.
Yeah, I'm cool with
Yeah.
fraternal because those
It's
are 2
just
different
identical
people.
that you don't like.
They share the same face.
Yeah, I understand
They are
that
the
concept.
same person, just somehow split into 2 people. And this, let me say this. I have met twins that I like. I work with a set of twins. I love them. They're wonderful people. I just
You like them individually, just not as a
Yep, I
pair?
just cannot be in the same room with them at the same time.
All right, but also that situation is funny because one of them worked with you, and then he left, and the other one came
And we
work for
hired
you.
his brother for his job.
Just a replacement. It's really just like, yep, this worked. Let's do it again.
We had no time to like grieve the fact that our friend was gone because we basically
Yeah.
had him back.
He was there.
That's another thing that scares me. The 2 of them are not only share the same face, they share the same personality. They are quite literally the same person.
Yeah,
and
I
it
can-
scares me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really understand. I understand that you have very rational fears. I get it. This is probably the weirdest one, but I'm gonna roll
Weirder
with it.
than kites.
Yes, I'm gonna roll with way weirder than kites somehow. I want to throw some famous celebrity twins at you really quick and just get your opinion.
Yeah.
Given to me.
They're identical twins. Okay.
Only identical.
So, Ramy and Sammy Malik.
Oh, I didn't know.
Did you not know that
I
they were
didn't know
twins?
Ramy had a twin.
They're apparently the most famous twins.
How does that affect your perception of Ramy Malik?
It changes Night at the Museum 3 for me.
That's Ramy, and then I think that's Sammy.
Okay,
They're 2 different people.
Oh wait, no, that's Sammy. Sorry.
Can I
Okay.
get a closer look at this?
They seem to
He's got
be
a
more
beard.
fraternal.
Yeah,
Nope,
I would call
this
it
is-
a little more fraternal.
This is identical.
I'm okay with those,
interesting.
especially because like
What happens?
Sammy doesn't. Is he an actor?
Aren't they? Yeah, most famous identical twins. So.
What happens when identical twins are non-identical? Like, did one of them just have
One of them
like
goofed.
what happened? Yeah, it's just like we were on track, and then this
And
guy
then this
decided
guy
to take
fucking-
a detour,
See you again, Paul Walker'd us.
a
And
genetic
Yeah.
detour.
I'll be honest. I don't know why this was their number 1. Maybe it's purely just because of Ramy. But his brother is an English teacher at a middle school. So, anyways, moving on.
Yeah, more twins.
Dylan and Cole Sprouse, who are Leos.
I
Apparently.
think that might be where my twin fear originated from.
Really, Zach and Cody?
Yeah, because
Daddy.
No, not Big Dad, because you only see one of them.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
And also,
the
same with
classic Mary,
Friends.
Kate, and Ashley
The two of them are in
situation.
Friends, and you only see one of them, so I'm fine with that. But I think once they got Zach and Cody and they started like pranking people because they were twins and using their twin powers against other people,
You were afraid of the chaotic potential of being a
I was like,
twin.
I don't want that in my life. So anti. Give me another one.
Anti. Tia and Tamara Mowry.
Not anti, because from what I remember of Sister, it's more of a playful, like, we're sisters. We're sisters before twins.
It's like
Zach and
playful,
Cody
like,
was
we're
we are
sisters.
twins before
Okay.
we are brothers.
Here's the real question, right? Because this is not a twin, but it was made to seem like a twin based off
Parent
this.
Trap?
Yeah.
Love.
How do you? But Lindsay
Because they're
Lohan-
not twins. It's Lindsay Lohan just acting her
I
ass
know,
off.
but the pranking potential is on par, if not exceeding, Zach and Cody. I think we
Ethically,
can
he
agree
does
on
not
that.
agree with the movie. Ethically, I think you're against parent trapping, but I think you're for Lindsay Lohan playing twins.
But Lindsay Lohan just acting circles around
The Parent Trap itself cannot be on board with, but Lindsay Lohan playing a twin, I can.
It's a great film, but ethically, I can't get on
I
board.
can't get behind
I
it.
can't get on board.
My God.
All right, I have one more. And
Okay.
I can move on.
Yeah.
And I think I already know the answer to this one.
Is it the Property Brothers?
It's the property.
Anti.
But they're using their twin powers for good. They're building homes.
I don't care. I hate them.
See, this disqualifies your whole argument.
They're scary.
I'm so happy you knew right away what I was talking about.
And also, they have a third unrelated, not a triplet, right? He's just kind of like
What?
there's the Property Brothers, and then there's another Property Brother who is not a twin.
It's kind of like
And he doesn't do property.
He's the third property brother.
It's kind of like
That's not into property.
the Jonas Brothers with Frankie. There's the fourth Jonas
Yeah.
brother, or the
Except-
Hemsworths.
Yeah.
There's
True.
fucking
Yeah, there's-
Luke.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
no twins.
Who
so
shout out
twins.
to Luke Hemsworth. You're a really good actor, dude. You should be in more things.
Yeah. I feel like he's passed on because of his
Yeah, because
siblings.
he gets looked down because I mean, one is Thor and the other one.
Let's be honest. Liam is the leak wing.
Yeah, Liam's the worst.
The leak.
The weak link. There we go.
Yeah, Liam is the worst one. Luke knocks it out of the park in Westworld,
Yeah.
especially Westworld season 3. Good job, Luke.
All right. So now that we
Yeah,
took
I've
a
seen that.
very big twin detour, I think we can officially say that Stephanie is the babe of this season.
Stephanie.
Oh yeah.
Stephanie
Survivor.
LaGrossa, that's how we got here. Okay, Stephanie LaGrossa is officially the babe of Guatemala.
The tribe has spoken.
All right, how about hunks?
I'm gonna go with Rafe.
Rafe?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I also say Rafe.
All right, debate over.
No. I think we at the very least need to go into what makes Rafe a hunk. Right?
Played a very strong season.
Yeah.
Played the game that's, like we said, the game that Stephanie played, except he knew that, like, I can't get that attached to these people.
He also did not eat the chicken.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I can
Big
respect.
notch on his hunk resume.
And he also would have given the cars away. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I think he would. I really do
I
believe
I
him
think
when
he would've-
said that
yeah.
he
Chicken
would.
thing,
He seems like a selfless person.
Yeah,
I think there's
the
a
problem is
correlation
whole-
between people who don't eat the chicken and also give the cars away.
Yeah.
He's one of those people.
Yeah.
Well, I think, he legitimately believed. The problem is holding other people to your standard, right? Of like, I would have given the car away. They should have also. That's not true. But I do believe him when he says he would have given the cars away.
I do too.
Like, he was like, it's not an option. And I 100% believe that. So, empathetic, sentimental king, for sure. Challenge beast, right?
True.
He won a lot of challenges this season.
Remember that the first challenge when he couldn't climb up the rope? I remember watching it and be like, this guy's not going to be great in challenges. And then it was almost like he had something to prove.
Yeah.
Where he just crushed every challenge
he
after
did
that.
fantastic. And his social game was very good. So, yeah, I think it's Rafe as well. Rafe is the official hunk of Guatemala.
The tribe has spoken.
All right. So before we finish this up, do we have any fun number crunchy type shit?
I do.
Yeah.
I have
do?
one.
Wow.
I was
interesting.
telling Andrew earlier because I was looking for some fun facts. There's none.
There's none.
There's
Okay. Well,
one, and
Andrew
it's
found
not
one.
fun.
Oh,
But so I'm not gonna say it. It's not a fun fact. It's just a fact.
okay.
And that was it.
This season has a very weird trilogy of episodes that
Yeah.
I'm confused
Titles.
by. Yes, episode titles. So episode 1 is titled Big Trek, Big Trouble, Big Surprise.
Little China.
Episode 6 is titled Big Ball, Big Mouth, Big Trouble.
Big balls, big mouth, big trouble.
Because it was the Big Ball Challenge.
I know, but still, it's called Big Balls, Big Mouth.
It's Big Ball, not Big Ball.
I know, but still, come on.
And then episode 13 is Big Win, Big Decision, Big Mistake.
Ooh.
So for some reason there was
The big trilogy.
they decided to have a big trilogy
Yeah.
of episodes that are fairly unrelated. I think that it was just somebody, and I can see because if I was naming these episodes, I would also do something like this.
Yeah. They were just like big balls.
Big,
Big
there's a big
ballin'.
ball.
Yeah. That's the distinguishing quality about this episode.
Okay, I actually do have something that's interesting for us specifically.
Okay. A Goats and Game Bots fact.
Sorta, yeah. So originally the season was scheduled to be filmed in a location on the Indian Ocean, with scouting taking place, and one of the places was Madagascar.
Oh.
So we almost got a Madagascar season.
Nice.
It was.
Could you imagine the chaos our episode would be for that one?
Yeah, we would never
We
stop
dodged a
talking
bullet
about
on
it.
that one.
Yeah.
But there was that huge Indian Ocean earthquake in 2004.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we
Oh,
can't do
so they
that.
had to.
Because
wow.
you made my earthquake.
Plans were scrapped.
Okay, so, but that means that, if we ever decide to get out of the rut of just going to Fiji every time, we could go back to Madagascar.
It sounds like it was, they want
Yeah.
to try it out.
It's a potential.
I hope we start going back to different locations.
I'm pretty sure the only other time,
Anytime soon.
I could be wrong, I think the only other time we go back to Africa is Gabon, Eden. Yeah, so I think that's the last time that we went to Africa. But yeah, we start going to some cool places coming up soon. Did I?
Did you hit one again?
I hit one again. I'm sorry.
Which one was it?
It was so in the background.
Yeah,
I don't
it
even
was,
know.
it was just.
I think it was Jeff saying something.
Yeah, it always is.
Damn, I missed it.
I'm sorry about how terrible I've been on the soundboard today. We'll figure it out. All right, so without further ado, it's time that we wrap this shit up. Let's get into our season reviews.
Season review.
Yeah, and as the horniest member of the group, Zach, you want to go first with your pitchfork scale?
Pitchfork
For season
scale.
reviews?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess two things can be unrelated and said
Yeah.
at the same
I'm
time.
horny for rating things. Love it.
okay.
I walk by buildings. 5, 6, 10.
And now downstairs just went from 6 to midnight. All right. Pitchfork scale. I'm gonna give this one a Total Life Forever and Holy Fire by Foles. 2 different albums. I'm gonna give this one a JPEG Mafia. All My Heroes Are Cornballs. I'm gonna give this one a Gucci Mane. The Return of East Atlanta Santa. I'm talking a 7.6
Whoa.
on this
It's
bitch.
pretty solid. It's a C.
Whoa.
C plus. No,
And
it's still C.
and I have a running list right now of my
where's it
seasons
fall?
right now. So Guatemala is right now currently 6th
Okay.
Ooh.
Yep.
Interesting.
of the seasons we've seen. Of course.
Yeah.
Got it.
Why'd you give it that rating? What about what you like? What you dislike?
I think there's a lot of good stuff going on that made it an interesting season. I think the opening challenge, as brutal as it was a fucking sick way to start this. A 2-person returning season. And yeah, I don't know. I think the gameplay was decent enough. It was entertaining. Very good cast. There just was, I think, a lot of moments that weren't super exciting, and so that's kind of what brought it down a little bit more from.
Yeah, it could
Probably,
drag.
yeah. It could. I think at points this could have been an 8.
Yeah.
8.0. Arctic Monkeys AM. I knew that one off the top of my head. But yeah, I think 7.6 just feels right for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How about on your coconut scale, Andrew?
3.5 out of 5 coconuts.
Okay. Gotcha.
Again, my ratings mean nothing. I don't remember any of the other ones.
Okay.
I just know that, I like this season. It was good.
Okay.
The thing that matters for you is tribal councils.
Yeah, I don't
and
like
this had
it.
a good one.
It's not a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Who knows if we'll ever get a 5 out of 5? We will. Who knows if we'll ever get one?
Yeah.
But yeah, 3.5 coconuts.
Solid. And on my mashed potato scale, I gave it an 88%,
Whoa,
which is
that's
certified
certified.
mashed,
Yes.
and I think the best score out of all of us.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just gasped because I forgot that this season we hear Jeff say baked potato.
Yeah, for the first
potato.
time,
Wrote that
right?
down. Yeah, it's the first
Yeah.
potato we get. It's not mashed.
It's
baked.
I think it was Danny bringing out the Kansas in him.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? It definitely could have been like.
What's his name is also from Kansas? Brandon?
So Brandon is from Kansas as well, so a lot of Kansas represented
Kansas
here.
heavy season.
Potatoes.
Yeah, and so
All
I
over
think
it.
maybe that just brought it out of Jeff, like a little bit of Southern twang.
I love that. I love that for Jeff.
Yeah. But this is actually at 88%. This is my third highest season.
Wow.
Just All-Stars and Pearl Islands are
Yeah.
above that.
Those are pretty high.
I think this is, just in the terms of everything I watched, I don't know if I appreciated it the first time around, but going back in, it feels like a hidden gem. Like, I truly feel like most of this cast is really, really good.
Yeah.
Most of there's a lot of human moments in this, and I liked most of them. Or if I didn't, it was like Judd blowing up his game, and you can't look away because it's so interesting to watch. So yeah, amazing cast, a lot of good people. I think the location is great. All the Mayan shit I was there for, the challenges, the tribal council. And also, this is a very twisty game. The way that they did a really weird, tribe swap for this one, and the first immunity idol, and it sit out of the challenge and get to eat. There's a lot of really cool twists that are here to stay. So I liked the chances that it took. But again, it did drag a little bit. The gameplay wasn't always amazing, and this was a brutal season. Most of my complaints are the gameplay might have been stifled by how difficult this season was, just to live in the environment and do all the hard shit that they made them do. So that's really the only thing losing points. But I am excited. I feel like I can tell we're ramping up to the seasons that I love, like Panama and Cook Islands, and we're about to enter a classic era. And I originally thought this was maybe the last season that held off on the original one, but I feel like it is kind of ushering in the new era with the immunity idol and just how much I enjoyed this season. So again, we've got some distance from it, but I really like this one. All right.
I got some good flicks to compare your rating to.
Yeah, 88%. What we got?
88%. We got The Simpsons movie.
Nice.
Mm.
Good flick.
We have the second best X-Men movie, X2.
Okay.
Appropriately.
Yeah. This is the second one.
The best X-Men movie, Days of Future Past. Ready or Not.
First Class might be the second best.
Oh, Ready or Not. Really?
Yeah.
Ready or Not's a good movie.
Yeah, we saw that one together, so I felt like I should put that one on here. The TV show Community is at an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I have a special heart. Speaking of a meta episode, Community. It's only right it made a...
and then the best one that deserves way more than 88% because it is the greatest Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, really?
Best Harry Potter.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, objectively, it's hard to argue with that. Personally, I'm a Azkaban boy. I think Azkaban's one of the better ones.
I'm an ass boy.
Yeah.
I'm a Caban boy.
But anyway.
Also, Ralph Breaks the Internet, but that's not... I don't think that one's
Not
an
worth
88%.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph's great, and Ralph 2 is not an 88%.
Yeah. All right. So that is our season review of Survivor Guatemala. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us and all the weird tangents that we went on this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking along. We have seen a little bit of Panama. Any thoughts so far, Andrew?
You talk about a good tribal council.
Oh, good tribal council
He's excited.
incoming. Yeah, it really is cool. So I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that in the next episode. Stay tuned for that. Without further ado, grab your stuff, head back to camp. Got nothing for you. Have a good night.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.